Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode and vinylthon edition of the Smitching Hour with me, Molly Jenkins, and then you'll be seeing my co-host Alyssa Salvato. We have so much to talk about, from a haunted record store player, as well as conspiracy theories about the Beatles and Elvis Presley. So keep tuned in and enjoy the show. All right. So should we start off with candle lighting, or do we have candles?
I have candles.
Okay, word. I only have one candle today, but it's gonna be the same as yesterday. If you guys weren't here, we had a WMSC birthday edition of the Smitching Hour, and I had vanilla cupcake, and it smelled super good. So I'm gonna light that one again.
Mine are the same as always. Will I ever change them? It will remain a mystery.
Okay, we love that. Are you ready?
Yes. 3,
2.
Oh, where's the fire? There we go. 1.
All right.
This is starting to burn the glass, and I don't know how to prevent that.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not. If my house catches on fire, we caught it on camera. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
All right. I feel like before we start our stories, we should flex what vinyl records we have, since it is, vinylthon / I believe it is record store day as well. Mm-hmm. So we do want to celebrate, even if we're all separated, we want to celebrate from home with all of you guys. So yeah, I'll go first. Okay. So the one I have with me, because in order to, find all the vinyl records I have, because I don't have a record player in my house, which I wish I did, all our vinyl records are like in a box in like the corner of my house. So I went in and I found like what I had. Mm-hmm. And I found this old Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Ooh.
And I love this album. And it's so cute. You see like the pictures of all of them. I love Stevie Nicks with all my heart too, but that's what I have. So what do you have, Alyssa?
So all my vinyls are in my basement, and they're all from my godmother. So we have totes, so many of them. There's 45s, there's big ones, but we have a lot of disco and stuff like that. But then we have stuff like Elvis, and we have the Beatles, which I brought today because we're going to be talking about them later on.
Yes.
So conspiracies.
Are you playing it now? Because I can't hear it.
I am. I'll turn it up for you. Right now, I'm playing this one, introducing the Beatles, England's #1 vocal group. How about now?
Yes, we're good.
Perfect.
Yeah, you have to like blast the music on like your end if anyone else is gonna hear it, because I would like
when I'm far from the camera. Because like farther from the camera, you can't really hear it.
Yeah, like for when I play the lo-fi, when you turn it up, I have it like at almost max volume, and it's like blasting in my ear, but it's like fine for you guys, and I'm like, all right, this works.
And I actually will be showing later. I have another Beatles one that relates exactly to the one we're talking about.
Oh my god, amazing!
I didn't know I had it, so I was very surprised.
Yeah, I have a bunch of Beatles records too. I have like the White Album and stuff, and like Abbey Road. I should have brought them with me, but they're in a box downstairs. We have them in spirit. But anyway, let's get started. So our first topic is actually haunted record store. Well, this is one haunted record store, and our other story relating to like vinyl and records is about someone who had like a haunting experience through their record player. But let's start off with the haunted record store. So the first article is from classiccountrymusic.com, which is why I said you saying y'all, Alyssa, was very fitting. And it is about Ernest Tubbs record store in Nashville, Tennessee, and how it is said to be haunted by ghosts of the Confederate soldiers back during the Civil War times. Even though the shop was founded in the 1940s, its history dates back much further. It was built 90 years before Tubb opened the shop there. During the Civil War, the building was a hospital for the Confederate Army. However, since the building was so small, it didn't have that many beds. So doctors and nurses were not prepared for the number of patients that were about to go in after the Battle of Nashville. So this is where it gets kind of creepy and like, ew. Many soldiers died in the hospital, and they put the bodies in the basement. Yeah, which it then became like a makeshift morgue while the hospital was in operation.
So then what did they do with the bodies after?
I guess they like buried them or burned them. They didn't really specify.
Because I could see like when people die, like, all right, you make the morgue, whatever. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, So they just stayed there. They didn't go anywhere else. Obviously, they're gonna haunt if they're just staying there.
Exactly. But yeah, it's mad creepy. I was reading and I was just like, okay, I can see where the hauntings come from. And then they're like, oh, we put the bodies in the basement. And I'm like, all right.
Figure you just kind of left it there. Cool.
Yeah, like we don't like that.
But anyway, continuing that, after the war, the building changed many times with different businesses for decades. It became Ernest Tubbs Record Store in the 1940s and has been a record store to today. According to employees and customers, the store carries the spirits of former occupants. Now, before I continue, I just find it so weird how these things come to be. Like it was a hospital and now it's a record store.
And like it was like a bunch of other businesses before it was a record store. Like when I was going through the article, I didn't put exactly what they were because it wasn't that like related.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't anything related to a hospital. It was like 3 different completely things, and then it stayed as a record store.
That's so crazy. And then one reported hauntings is that many employees and customers claim to have been pushed or touched from behind while they're in the store. They would also hear random footsteps in the building and issues with electronics.
And which we all know, that's usually a sign of ghosts because they always mess up your electronics.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Another like spooky thing about the shop is that there's supposedly a haunted CD player that starts playing a specific artist's music if you say their name while you're in the store. So if I were to be in there, I'd be like, you know what? Avril Lavigne is such a good artist. The CD player would just like play like Skater Boy.
That's so strange.
Which I'm like, all right, I kind of dig it. But
wait, so I saw this video on YouTube with this YouTuber Cody Ko, and he was watching this dating show with like a buzzer, and the buzzer is like just someone with a mic. What if someone's in the back of the place with a mic and is like, all right, I'm gonna play Avril Lavigne?
That's what I'm thinking.
It's possible.
It is possible. I'm like, there has to be some way, like during this time, that you can like connect the two. Be like, oh, I love this said artist, and the CD player plays it.
Yeah.
That was according to 99.5 WKDQ, which they did like another like whole like article and stuff about the story. Now, blogger Eileen Sisk wrote that she was quote groped while visiting the record shop in 2010, but there was no one to be seen. That's terrifying. I hate that.
By a ghost?
I guess so.
Ooh.
She said the man behind the counter said, quote, went on to say there have been many strange happenings in the store through the years. So instead of trying to solve the issue, being like, excuse me, sir, I think I just got groped by someone, he was like, yeah, this weird stuff happens all the time. Like
it's all right. Ghosts will be ghosts. Like
oh,
that's not how that works. That's also weird. I'd never heard of a ghost story where they've groped someone.
Yeah.
I always hear like they tap someone on the shoulder, like.
Actually, no. We remember the one creepy story. I forget like exactly what it was, but that guy in 1800s garb just like staring over in bed.
Yes, I think that was one of our first episodes of the Smitching Hour when we were like on air. And we were talking about like the girl was in her bed like sleeping and she thought it was her roommate's boyfriend just standing over her watching her sleep.
Like, I see you.
Oh, ever.
I remember you saying like 1800s like garb, and then I looked it up what it was, and it was one of those little like short jackets with the tails at the end. And I'm like, if a man ever stood over my bed wearing that, like what?
That's also the thing. How would you think it's her roommate's boyfriend? Like, does he go and reenact this type of stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I don't get that. I wouldn't have assumed it was him if he's dressing like that and he never does.
Yeah.
But anyway, according to locals, the shop is haunted by spirits of the Civil War soldiers who died there years ago when it was a hospital. It is so well known as a haunted location that there are now haunted tours in hopes guests experience Civil War era ghosts.
See, and this is where I'm like,
Now they're doing it for profit.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
No.
Like, I remember reading the article, and they're like, at the end, but like, but it seems to be like you could just go to the store and find like paranormal experiences. But knowing that there's like ghost tours and stuff now at this place, I'm like, this whole CD thing has to be debunked somehow. Like, that's definitely like someone in another room with like all this like equipment being like, okay, I'm gonna listen in, see what artists people are saying, and just play them.
Yeah, that's just a cash grab.
Yeah, it's definitely just like a DJ in another room connecting the CD player to whatever equipment he has. I guarantee.
I forgot I had a candle and I almost caught on fire.
Oh my god, don't, let's not.
Let's not do that on camera.
Yeah, not. I mean, it would make for good camera, but I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
you're right.
It would go viral.
Let's make sure I don't do it off camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
But so another little like spooky thing about like vinyl and like records and stuff. I'm sorry, I'm like just realized I'm not on Facebook. I kind of want to see if we have any comments or anything.
Oh, so far no.
No, okay.
WMSC Radio posted vinylthon while keeping our distance.
Oh, love that. All right, so our next little article / story is, the title is A Possible Haunted Record Player, according to a user on Reddit, and it was posted about 5 years ago. So there weren't, in general, I couldn't find any like official articles about like this topic regarding records. But then I was like, let me just find something on Reddit and see what comes up. And actually, this person had a very like weird experience. So this Reddit user wait, hold on. I totally did not write this sentence right. So this is about a Reddit user who recently lost their grandmother, and she was a jazz performer in the 1950s in Sydney, Australia. And apparently this person was very like well known in like the jazz music industry, like had connections with like the Bee Gees and stuff like that. So and the user who wrote this whole thing actually owns a couple of their grandmother's records, and they decided to play one after she died.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also here's my thing. With record players, like anything musical, like that makes sense for ghosts to like haunt.
Yeah, I
if
totally.
They really want to talk to you, they'll talk to you through that.
Yeah.
But let's see. After they played for the first time, something strange happened. They awoke at 4 a.m. to the record playing. No one in the house had pressed the start button on the record player, and it was at max volume. Since this has happened, the user put away the record and hasn't played it since.
Yeah, so pretty much, this is a very like short little story, but pretty much like they were just like, does this happen to you guys? Because this is mad weird. Like my record player doesn't do this, and I can tell by the post, like it's definitely one of those more like technical savvy record players that are designed today. So it's like you press a button to start it. It might have like an aux cord, so like for volume and stuff like that. So pretty much what they're saying is like it wasn't at max volume when he played the record, but all of a sudden at 4 a.m. he woke up to his grandmother's record blasting. And he was like, what the heck? So I found some like funny comments in the Reddit post. So one was like, quote, play the record backwards for secret Nana message. And then the actual person who wrote out the whole story, who experienced this, said, it would probably read, stop wasting all your cash on weed and records. I'm like, I wish that's what it is. I really hope so.
That'd be funny.
Yeah. And
your
then,
grandmother yells at you from the great beyond.
It's like, dang.
I'm sick of watching this.
Stop wasting your money. You know, stuff like that. Another comment is, it's your grandmother telling you to put records back in their sleeves once they're done. I agree with that one, because after you're done listening to it, it's like he didn't put it back. Obviously, he left it there. Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think that's not how you do it.
That's not how you treat them. You treat them with respect.
Exactly. And then the last one says, play the Ghostbusters record just in case. I love that.
Just to make sure, Ghostbusters. When I think of this, I think of, have you ever seen Transformers?
No.
Okay, well, in Transformers, there's this one Transformer, and its name is Bumblebee. In order to talk, it flips through radio stations. So when I think of this, I think of her, like, flipping to specific parts in the song to make a sentence. Wouldn't that be cool, though?
That would be cool, but that would be creepy.
It would. But, like, I would actually enjoy that. I'm going to tell someone, like, if they ever haunt me in the great beyond, to please do it in that way. Either that or become an animal that I could buy, because I really would like a dog.
We love that. But, actually, like, we actually have time. So this person actually, like, also post like their record, like I can't find words today. They
Collection?
post like their record collection and stuff like that, and I can like show you guys because I know some of you guys are on live and stuff. And for anyone listening elsewhere, I'll just explain what all it is. So let me get this on full screen.
Also, if y'all listening ever want to join in the conversation, feel free to leave us your comments.
Yes, I agree. So whatever comments you guys have, and even if it's like, wow, this is crazy, I don't care, I'll read it. All right. So let's see. Share. All right, do you guys see? So the first one, they posted 7 hours ago. It says Happy Record Store Day. And I felt like that was such a perfect one to post because I'm like, because it is Record Store Day and vinylthon. But I'm gonna like scroll up to the beginning. So like right here, like they just have like George Harrison's like soul record, Rage Against the Machine. Like look at how much they have.
Whoa.
Like that's so much.
See, my problem with having that many is like organization that drives me insane.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Like it's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Also, look how beautiful these are. Can we just appreciate for a minute?
Gosh.
I love them.
I love the shapes, but I also love that it's like those colors.
I know.
It's
And
like
I love this.
it's like a glitch type of effect where it shows like the red, blue, and like yellow.
Yeah. I love it. I'm obsessed. So Record Store Day. And it's just like they have Jesus Christ Superstar. Like
Andrew
no,
Lloyd Webber?
it's amazing. And they have one of my favorite albums, Gorillaz Plastic Beach. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's beautiful.
Gorillaz art is really like beautiful.
Yeah, well, they are like, they're not like a real band of real people. It's like animated, if that makes sense. Like they're cartoon characters with
Yeah.
real characters.
No, I got you.
But like the art, I love the art style so much. Okay. And then look at like, oh God. But like, I just love, they're also a weeb, you can tell just by this, and I love it.
I love the fact that it's like soundtracks are also made into vinyls. Like it's not just set to various artists.
I really suggest you, Alyssa, like look up the artwork for the first Steven Universe vinyl record. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
I'm gonna look that up right now.
Yeah, do it. It's so nice. But yeah, this is just like, oh, and there's a little setup with a little succulent. I love it. I just like was going through it and I was like, I kind of want to show everyone.
My favorite thing to do with vinyls is I'll be cooking in my kitchen and then listen to vinyls. Whoa,
Blink-182, right? How dope.
Gosh, I love that. See, vinyl art is incredible. There's so much you can do with it.
Yeah. And this is like other people's setups and stuff. Like it's just cool to go through it. And this one, I like this one. The red is so pretty. Texas Sun is such a good album. I really suggest you guys listen to this album. It's very good.
Oh wait, is this the Steven Universe one?
Yes.
That's pretty. It has like the gems, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cute.
Oh, the baby.
I know, this is a little baby.
Playing a piano.
Amazing. But yeah, it's just like cool to see like what they have. Oh my God, Green Day. It's so good. It's okay, and that's all they have. But yeah.
I wish that more artists, when they create vinyls, they made it more artistic. Cause like I don't mind just the plain black vinyls, but it's so cool to see the art influence in it.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I love the Plastic Beach one so much. It's like if you like open it up and go through, it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. I think all mine are basic. I have some nice covers, but covers are different from the actual like record.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
But let's see, moving into the Beatles. So there are big conspiracy surrounding them, and I'm gonna actually get the other record out for this.
Yes, okay, bring it out since this is what apparently the conspiracy is about.
So we have Abbey Road.
Oh, word.
So the first thing about this, so the Beatles have sold, I'd say, like the most albums thus far, and because of this I thought it would be fitting because it goes with the whole like music idea. And let's see, one of the first conspiracies that I feel is one of the most popularized is Paul being dead. So legend has it that Paul was killed in a car accident in the mid-1960s and replaced by a lookalike. Molly,
wait, hold on. I'm just gonna interrupt. This is like the Avril Lavigne conspiracy theory.
yeah.
If you guys don't know, that conspiracy theory is that Avril Lavigne like passed away or like didn't want to be famous anymore, and then they have like a stunt double, which is why she's like preppy now and stuff. But anyway, continue.
And you'll find this for a lot of celebrities though. Like everyone suspects that after a certain amount of time they were replaced, whether it's by a robot or just a completely different person. So as I was saying, they believe he was killed in a car accident and replaced by a lookalike, possibly called Billy Shears. So there are in fact many potential clues surrounding this, and one of the big ones is through their album Abbey Road. There we go. So if you look at it, a lot of people have speculated that this is a funeral procession. So John Lennon is wearing white, and white is mainly like a symbolized mourning type of thing in many Easter religions, so like Catholic and stuff like that. Ringo Starr is wearing traditional black. What were you saying?
Do you want me to like pull up the cover so people can like see it?
Yeah, you can do that.
Because there's like a little.
That way I don't have to keep holding it.
Yeah. Let me just get this on
Okay.
full screen for y'all.
So as you do that, I'll just list them out. So as I was saying, John Lennon is wearing a white suit that symbolizes mourning in some of the Easter religions, so Catholic and stuff like that. Ringo Starr is wearing traditional black, which is another symbol for mourning. And then George is in denim. And that is, I would say, it symbolizes mourning, but for Canadians. And then McCartney, as you can see, he has no shoes. And in some cultures, that's how the dead are buried. They're buried with no shoes on.
Oh, that's so weird.
And then, is there a way that you could pull up, actually, before you do that, if you look, there's a black police car.
Yes.
And that is supposed to symbolize the police that ignored or kind of strayed away from talking about his death.
Wait, what?
Yeah. And then what I want you to do is, can you bring up the back cover?
I can try.
It should have a girl on it. Mine doesn't. Oh, it does, kind of. She's all the way towards the end. But the thing with the back cover is that you'll see that there's a girl in a blue dress kind of running off the back cover.
Is this it right here?
Yes, it is. So when you look at that, that is symbolizing the fan Rita, who was in the car with him when he crashed. So he was driving a fan home or something like that, and they crashed, and that's supposed to symbolize her fleeing this crime, or fleeing the accident. And then also on the back, there's a series of dots, and it said that if you were to connect them, it symbolizes the number 3.
Yeah, you can see it right here.
Members back in the, or left in the band. There's even more. It's so crazy. So on the front, there's a VW license plate that reads 28IF. Mm-hmm. And a lot of, this is kind of controversial because it's kind of been debunked, but.
Am I good to pause this before you continue?
I would keep up with that one.
Okay.
So basically, that was supposed to symbolize if Paul would have been 28 if he survived the car accident. Now that was debunked because just a few weeks before the photo was taken, he turned 27. But then if you listen to the music on the album, some of the songs, so Lennon sings, he blew his mind out in a car. He didn't notice that the lights had changed from a day in the life. And then there's also, I buried Paul at the end of Strawberry Fields, which when you asked Lennon about it, he claimed to say cranberry sauce. So there's speculation within the lyrics. And then also in the Beatles avant-garde, like collage Revolution 9, if you listen to it backwards, you will hear "Turn Me On, Dead Man" and the voice chant number 9 with the sound of a car crash and crying. That's it. So Paul is dead. That's what I'm saying here. Right?
But there's so much like proof behind it. And if this is the case, this is more proof how genius the Beatles are. Just saying.
That's the thing, to be able, and even if it's not real, the fact that it was able to create this scene within just looking at it.
Yeah.
And then also the crack in the foundation of the back of the album, that's supposed to symbolize them starting to break up. Because like just a few years later, they ended up breaking up.
We'll also say a little bit after Abbey Road, I think, I could be wrong with the order, I want to say is Sgt. Pepper's, it was the next one, or I could be wrong. But then I think after that is when it was like, no more, like they broke up. They couldn't take it anymore, like, because they were so sick of each other.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy.
That is crazy. Okay.
And the fact that if this isn't real, then like how did someone just like come up with this?
I agree.
So elaborate to the T.
Someone had a lot of time in their hands if they just like saw this and came up with it.
You're right. Also, the specific name of the woman who was with him, a fan named Rita.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. It blows my mind. Like I was researching this and I was like, I think he might actually have died.
Like, yep, I believe it now.
And if this is true, the Beatles are genius.
I mean, they already are, but still, this proves it even more.
For real.
All right, am I good to get out of here?
Yes, you're good. And then there's more conspiracies with them.
I'm just trying to get myself all situated again.
All right, as you talk, I'm going to switch to Abbey Road.
Yes, I was going to say, you have to play Abbey Road now. So there's even more insane theory that the Beatles never existed at all. And wait, what? Can't you tell this is my first time reading this? I totally didn't go over what we were going to do. I was like, wait. So there's even more insane theory that the Beatles never existed at all and were composed of an ever-revolving collection of stand-ins. Theorists claim to have visible proof that the stars differ throughout the years based on differences they have seen in ear sizes, nose, and how far close their eyes are. People have a lot of time on their hands. Like,
here's the thing with that. As I was looking at that one, I saw that a lot of people, what they were doing is they were like comparing the photos from each year, but then people were arguing, oh, maybe they got plastic surgery. And that could possibly work when it comes to noses, and I think ears could work. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe there's an ear transplant. But when it comes to how close or far apart the eyes are, I don't necessarily know. And the thing is that the woman argued against the whole idea of plastic surgery because even if they got that, they would still sort of look like how they did, not a completely different person.
Yeah, and I'm like trying to think back from like,
it was like every year they looked different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I believe it that much because like, I don't know, because I can see how people be like, oh, they're totally different people, but like also you see the like how the style and time has changed from the beginning of the Beatles towards the end, you know what I mean?
Also, I saw that people think that Paul McCartney was replaced 12 times.
Interesting.
I want to know where they're finding these replacements.
Yeah, like, I don't understand.
Take a strand of DNA and clone them.
I hate that with all of my heart.
I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, we're playing Here Comes the Sun, everyone. We're gonna.
I can't hear it, but
it's because. Hold on. How about now?
There we go.
Okay. It's also because it was just starting.
Sure.
And then also alternate to that, there are people who believe there are multiple versions of them. So this could also work into the whole idea that there's alternate universes and stuff like that. So on a website called The Beatles Never Broke Up, a man talks about how he went into an alternate universe. And this is the one that I mentioned to you a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So this is an alternate universe where they never broke up, and he ended up coming into possession of an unreleased album, which people are able to download and read about the story of how he got it. So as described by the man who chooses to remain anonymous, And a lot of people have tried to find him because he has an email link so you could message him and he could explain it more to you. And even when they try to trace the email, all they get is back to the domain of Yahoo. So they can't find him.
That's so weird.
So on September 9th of 2009, he experienced something that he is still having trouble to believe actually happened to him. And he doesn't think he would have actually believed it unless it did happen to him, which it did. And he says he doesn't really care if people don't believe him, but he's just like, I needed to let this out and let people know it happened. So he kind of described how he was driving and his dog had to use the restroom. So he pulled over onto the side of the road and let the dog like go to the bathroom, but the dog ended up chasing a rabbit. Okay. So the guy was like, I have to get my dog. So he starts chasing after the dog. And as he did, because of the uneven flooring or grounding of the earth, he ended up tripping and was knocked unconscious.
Well, then he then continued with how he woke up in a room with furniture and electronics, and a man came in named Jonas and told him how he was 20 feet away from where he was hurt and he didn't recall and houses being near where he got hurt. And Jonas replied that he transported him into parallel earth. He said he didn't take outsiders through a portal, but he thought the man needed urgent help. So this is crazy. Someone, I don't know about this one.
And basically with this one, like the guy he talked to, it was set in like the 1950s in that universe, where for us it was 2009. So basically he's talking to the guy and the guy's like, oh yeah, like we're trying to make portables accessible to everyone, but the problem is that it's not necessarily safe because you could transport into an ocean or into fire and just die. So the government was going through specific locations where they knew that they could set a portal and you would be able to survive it. So people were just using portals leisurely. And like it was very easy to get, but expensive. So they talked about a lot of things like pop culture and stuff like that. And they ended up talking about the Beatles because they noticed that there was a lot of similarities in the things that were in our universe towards what is in their universe. So the Beatles were in ours, they were in theirs, and stuff like that. So when Jonas mentioned that his brother just got back from seeing them perform at a concert, the guy was very confused because he's like, oh, you know, well, what's his face? John and George, they're gone. And then the Beatles aren't even together anymore. But the guy was like, no, they're still together here. Like they're touring, they're making music.
It's crazy.
Right?
Yeah. All right. So well, to continue on, Jonas played a few songs which were never made, at least in our world, and Jonas didn't want the man to take anything for safety precautions, but he did anyway, hung out with Jonas for a little longer, and then stepped through the portal, which apparently felt like getting wet but staying dry the entire time. And he arrived back and he saw a straight line burn mark on the ground from where the portal had shown up, and he only noticed it through the night because it was still smoking. So that's like his way of saying like, no, this actually happened, guys. I swear to God.
Like this is what it felt like. And the thing he also mentioned is how when he stepped through it, his dog shook himself like he was wet and trying to dry off, but they were dry already. And like everything was normal. Like he was back in the same landscape where he saw his car in the distance, but it was nighttime and he just like saw the remnants of where the portal was.
This is whack.
Yeah. So then, unfortunately, he didn't have much information about the tape when he came back because he did steal it just so he would have proof. But it was on the card sleeve, it was written that it's called, Everyday Chemistry. And then also it is on, like listed on it is the tracks of it. And the crazy thing is that where Jonas was, they were still listening on like the tape cassettes. Yes. So this guy went to Walmart, purchased the tape cassette because obviously we have CDs now. Yeah. And he listened to it through that. And he still has the tape. And he posted a picture of it. He posted the area that he was captured in.
Here, you know what? I'm gonna look up what was the name of the album again?
It's called Everyday Chemistry. And a lot of people say that it's just a mashup of Beatles songs that they combined to make the album or whatever.
Yeah.
But the guy's like, no, this is from an alternate universe that I came back with. And they're still together. So there's some that believe it, some that don't. And you can listen to it. I've yet to listen to it.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to see it if it's like legit or if you can tell that it's been mashed together.
I'm gonna show you guys a picture of it. It's literally just on like a plain cassette tape. Hold on.
Yeah.
Get it set up for y'all.
An unknown authorship that was made available free.
Crazy.
Oh, that's weird.
All right, so I'm gonna zoom in. So that's it right there. So that was the tape, apparently. So it's very just not. It doesn't look official, quote unquote, at all. So it just says right here, it's side A. So Beatles Everyday Chemistry, and that's like a picture of just the songs.
And the thing that where this came into play, that it was on the cassette, so the guy Jonas was telling the man how this girl in high school wanted him to listen to the Beatles, so she made him like a mixtape. So he had over like 6 to 7 of them. And yeah. So I don't know. It's just, I guess, whatever you want to believe, whether it's true or not. And the guy's like, listen, you don't have to believe me, but I know this happened.
And like, here's this picture right here. I don't know how real this one is, but but I think now, like, that's the cover of it right there and stuff. This is crazy. I don't know about this one, y'all. I mean, like, I could totally see it happening.
It's real.
That like is another dimension of the Matrix, you know?
Yeah.
So if you think about it, this is more proof that the Matrix is real, just saying.
Oh gosh.
That was another little portal of the Matrix.
That's terrifying.
That they obviously have more advanced technology than our Matrix and was able to like go through.
Yeah, because in the alternate universe, the guy Jonas, he was saying how the government was working on funding a space program, and then they were focusing on doing this like technology thing. I don't really remember, but that's like the electronic stuff that the guy was hooked onto to kind of be healed.
Okay.
It's also weird because it's like the guy woke up in a room and then this guy Jonas comes in and he's like, I saved you. Don't worry. I saw that you were in pain. And I was like, yeah, he needs help and no one's around him. So I just opened a portal and saved you.
And he was like, I usually don't bring in strangers from different dimensions and bring them in. But you know what? You needed help.
Yeah.
I want to know why this guy, like, is he like the chosen one? Is he Neo? Like, who is that who he is? Like, I'm sorry, I'm relating everything back to the Matrix because, like, it's just more proof. It's literally more proof.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But
I don't know if I believe it or not. I want to because I'm just like he's like, this is what happened, you don't have to believe me or not. And like, I feel like that's genuine. I feel like you wouldn't say that if like you didn't really experience it. You'd probably be like, you have to believe me, this is happening.
Yeah.
No, like, don't even find me, I'm going off the grid, the government's gonna come kill me or something. Like, I don't want that.
No, exactly.
Like, there's something going on.
There is. There's definitely something going on. I don't know. All right, so the final thing surrounding the Beatles is that John Lennon was warned he'd be shot on an island a decade before his death in Manhattan. In 1969, he was warned by an astrologer while in Greece with Yoko Ono, and they ended up canceling plans to yacht around the Greek islands because they immediately assumed the shooting would be there. Yoko in 2000 admitted they were right to be careful, but they did so in the wrong way. Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah.
And also, this is proof that astrology is real and the universe has its ways.
That's the thing. I think it was like a documentary or just a short video was released about this. Mm-hmm. And that's where she said, like, she admitted to it. But the thing is that the guy never gave them a set time frame. he was just like, oh, it's gonna happen. So they immediately were like, oh my gosh, it's gonna happen. And then I guess when it didn't, they were like, oh, okay, like he's saved.
Word.
And she was like, I do believe that there are some people that are psychics, but I personally, I also think that just people do it as a scam. Like it depends on your credentials of if you're actually a psychic or not. Some just do it to make money. So it's tough.
All right, we still have a lot of time left. So I just went ahead and I looked up, unless you have more stuff to talk about, but I just looked up, according to Esquire.com, the greatest celebrity conspiracy theories of all time.
Okay.
If you're down for that.
Yeah, I'm down.
Because I just looked at the time and it's 4:40.
Oh wait, we should do Elvis since I have his record.
Word. Let me look up.
Okay, so as you look up that, I already have a conspiracy about Elvis because I've been looking into this for years.
Do it. Let's talk about
Basically, people believe that Elvis never died. And that happens with a lot of celebrities I found. Like, people just assume they're dead, and then they're like, oh, wait, no, there's this guy that looks like him. So basically, a story that I heard that I'd have to definitely look into more, so maybe I could do that next week for our next one. But basically, it was that Elvis never died, and he kind of just wanted to be out of the spotlight. So when that happened, he ended up, I guess, becoming like homeless or kind of living off the grid. And this guy said that he was Elvis, and he was like a homeless guy living under a bridge. And they're like, you're not Elvis. But when the man died, they found traces of Elvis in his blood or something like that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Dang. It's like, I'm not going to go off to an island and enjoy myself. I'm just going to become homeless.
Well, that's the thing. The crazy thing is that he wouldn't admit to it until he was on his deathbed. On his deathbed, he was like, listen, just like, you know, I'm Elvis.
Didn't he die in a bathtub?
Elvis died on the toilet.
On the toilet? Yeah, I knew it was one of those.
Yeah.
I think it was Whitney Houston or something. I know someone died.
Yeah, Whitney Houston was bathtub.
Yep. I was like one of them. One of those like big stars.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's crazy. But I just looked on, according to like Time magazine. So it said Elvis Presley died 40 years ago. Here's why some people think he's still alive. So I'm just going to read off the article. So some believe Elvis was connected to the mafia. So, yeah. All right. Just wait.
I've seen that for Elvis. I gotta be honest.
I don't know. Now that I think about it, I could see it. There's something there.
When I think of him, I think of like so like I can't see that being a mafia voice.
He's actually like the Godfather. Don Corleone.
I've never even seen The Godfather.
Oh, sister.
I feel fake Italian. Like, I feel like I should know that.
Okay. I'm gonna like, off topic tonight, if you're free, we're gonna watch some movies.
Oh my gosh.
Because you guys, if you guys didn't watch yesterday or hear, because we were live on air, Alyssa did not know about War of the Worlds, the radio drama or the movie until yesterday when we talked about it.
Doing this show, I have come to the realization that I'm not as cultured as I thought I was.
Yeah.
Or maybe just not in these specific areas.
Okay. Do you want to know my theory of why? I feel like, I don't want to be like, it's
you have a theory for me?
Not a theory, but like, people like your age. It's just because, I don't know, I don't want to be like, you guys are young, but like, I don't know. Maybe it is because you're like young. When were you born? Like 2001? 2000. 2000? So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see why, because it wasn't really in your time frame.
Yeah, I think, and also it's a lot of like what I learned from my family. So my sisters, they were in the 90s, so I learned a lot of things from them, but it's also just the things that interest them or the things that interest my parents.
Yeah, word. Because like, for instance, I feel when War of the Worlds came out, I want to say it was early 2000s. Like, obviously I was too young to see it in theaters, but my older sister watched it, and then I watched it from her, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then my parents are all into like old-timey type stuff, so like they told me about the whole radio drama and all that, and that's kind of how I know about it. But anyway, let's get into Elvis being in the mafia, because I find this hysterical. So,
I touched my vinyl and like I got really scared.
All right. So one of the biggest theories on why Elvis Presley may have faked his death is because he had to in order to escape the mafia. I actually could see that. Gail Brewer, you want? Are you on the article or no?
Yes, I am.
Can you can you read? Because you're Italian. Gail Brewer. I can't pronounce that last name.
I can't even find that.
If you scroll down to some belief Elvis was connected to the mafia.
Oh, okay. Gail Brewer.
Giorgio, right?
Gorio. Gordio? Gorio? I don't know, because when I think of that, I think of the baseball player from the Yankees, Gregorio.
Oh, but
Like Gorio.
Giorgio, I don't know. Well, he was the author of the 1988 best-selling book "Is Elvis Alive?" He recalled in a recent interview with Time how she poured through thousands of FBI documents to come to the conclusion that Presley was an American hero who had to go into witness protection. Quote, do I know if Elvis Presley is alive today? No, I do not know, she said. But I know he didn't die on August 16th. This person, because I can't pronounce the last name, now who is 78, said the FBI enlisted Presley as an undercover agent in 1976 to help the agency infiltrate a criminal organization called the Fraternity, which was apparently made up of dozens of racketeers. Presley volunteered, spurred by his love of America and respect for the FBI, according to Giorgio, I can't pronounce it. The author said the agency had approached Presley because a member of the fraternity had apparent dealings with Presley over the sale of an airplane the singer had. But when Presley was found to be a mole, he was put into witness protection program, Brewer Giorgio said, citing that she said the evidence from FBI documents and interviews. Elvis faked his death because he was going to be killed, and there was no doubt about it. So whoever the fraternity is was probably like a mafia type group, is what I'm getting from it. The FBI did not immediately comment on the decades-old claim that Brewer Giorgio described at length in her book. There's no mention of Presley aiding the FBI in more than 760 files the federal agency has released that pertain to singer between 1956 and 1980. The FBI never investigated Presley, but a folder in his name was created because he had been the target of several extortion attempts the FBI probed. Interesting. They released documents outline the extortion cases, and they also show Presley's admiration for the FBI. During a tour, Presley took the FBI's headquarters in 1971. The musician, quote, spoke favorably of the borough and offered his quote, services in any way, according to an FBI memo. There's also mention of Presley's plane and a business arrangement involving the aircraft. Elvis experts say the docket lacks evidence suggesting Presley is alive. Those FBI files are available to the public. I have them. There's nothing in there, said Patrick Lacey, an Elvis Presley researcher who wrote Elvis Decoded, which debunks the theory surrounding Presley's death. Quote, all of the evidence points to a death, the medical evidence, the eyewitness report, Lacey told Time. To have him have faked his death would have required the silence and services of literally hundreds, if not thousands of people over the years. Interesting.
So there is actually a Facebook page that Elvis is actually alive and it has evidence. So actually, as you were saying with the whole thing about him being in the mafia or like an agent, it said that there was a deathbed confession from Joe Esposito, who claimed Elvis was working as a covert narcotics agent. And then
mafia.
This, it doesn't necessarily say Bureau of Narcotics badge, making him an agent.
FBI.
So also other things surrounding like his non-death type of thing. So on his headstone, his middle name is Aaron, like A-R-O-N, and then it's spelled A-A-R-O-N.
You want me to pull up for them because I have it in the Times article. There's a picture of the headstone.
Yes.
Word.
So there's that. Also, on like his 82nd birthday, or would be his 82nd birthday, if you like look at it, let's see, hold on. Let me exit out of this live screen. Wow, his headstone is huge.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I mean, he's Elvis. You know?
Yeah. Well, that's like I want to visit Whitney Houston's gravestone,
Oh,
which I feel like is weird to say I want to.
to be honest, like, no, I would visit like Michael Jackson's head gravestone and stuff. He's
Yeah.
buried right next to Elizabeth Taylor, apparently.
Really? Where?
I think it's in LA.
Oh. But basically surrounding his 82nd birthday, or what would be, a photo appeared on the Elvis Presley is Alive Facebook page in January of a man with a white beard and with a security personnel in the top left corner of the picture. So it like shows a picture of it. And it's just this like giant guy with the white beard, and then it's like women here, women here. And it says that people speculated he was guarding Elvis. And then also another thing, if you look in Home Alone, there's like a mad conspiracy theory that basically there's this guy who appears to be like a bearded man and is seen in the background as Kate checks flight availability. And they say that it looks a lot like Elvis. So there's like a lot of videos comparing the two guys of like what Elvis would look like if he had a beard like that. And they do look very similar.
Is this the guy he meet, like the creepy one? The creepy one?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't seen Home Alone in a while.
I don't think he looks like Elvis. I don't know how to creepy guy.
Here, I'll share the.
Yes.
So if you look up the weirdest Elvis Presley sightings.
Yeah, so if you want to pull up your screen for it.
I can do that. Let's see. More share screen.
I don't think he looks like Elvis. I'm looking at him right now.
Okay. Oh, I love that you can see me. Okay. So these are like the conspiracy theories. So that's his plaque that they were talking about. This is the photo of the guy, like the security guard.
Yeah.
And then this is him in Home Alone.
Oh.
And
he was
them side by side.
Could you imagine the producers or like director of Home Alone was like, you know what? Let's freak everyone out. Just
Also, what if it was him, but he was under a different name? And they're like, you look a lot like Elvis. And he's like, I've never heard of that man.
Could you imagine? You look like Elvis Presley. Who? I have never heard of such a person.
And then this is like the whole mafia thing, as you were saying.
Yeah.
And there's a pool house photo, apparently. So this page on Facebook, like they really did their research and they really believe that Elvis was alive or still is. And I tried looking up the man who said that he was Elvis when he passed away, but I couldn't find anything. And this was last updated in 2017. So I'm guessing they ran out of evidence or Elvis actually passed away. So it's wild.
I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. Did Elvis actually not pass away or not? See, okay, regarding the Home Alone thing, I was totally thinking that, do you remember the old man who wasn't with Macaulay Culkin's character? He was, or not with the mom, he was with Macaulay Culkin, whatever his name is.
He was one of the robbers, right?
No, not a robber. He's the guy with the shovel who like helps him out in the end. He's like the creepy guy that they all thought was creepy. I thought you were talking about him, and I was like, that is not Elvis Presley. I'm like, first of all, Elvis got fat, and this guy's very skinny.
Yeah. Unless he did a switch up. He flipped the tables. He's like, you thought I was fat. Now I've been working out.
Now, guys. He's like, all the stress weight came off after I died.
I'm trying to figure out how that girl's last name was said.
Yeah, I know. I have no idea.
Here, wait. Giorgio.
Okay.
Because in English, it's George. So Giorgio.
Yeah.
What did I say?
I don't even know.
Gorio?
Gorio? Yeah, something like that. And I was like, Giorgio? I don't know.
I have a problem. Anyway, because we are down to our final minutes, I was thinking we get into our co-stars.
Oh, yes. I'm down for that.
Tradition, of course.
All right. So, you want to go first?
Yes, of course. I didn't look at mine yet. I think I got my notification though. So it says for today, human connections are dispersed in space and time right now, but they are in some ways closer than they have been in decades. Power and social life, pressure and routine and sex and love, trouble with thinking and creativity, spirituality, and self. You know,
You
it's
have
not good.
and you have power, sex, and love.
No, that's pressure.
Oh, never.
I have power in social life, which I agree. I'm going to sleep over my dad's house, so I'll be with my sisters and my family.
That's good.
But here's the thing. I never have power in spirituality, and I think that's a problem because this is the Smitching Hour. This is all spiritual. I believe in that stuff. What the heck?
I know. I think spirituality, when I look into it, I think it's like a religion type thing. I always have pressure in it. I don't know.
I'm a little hurt. But anyway, it says, it's hard to separate work and play today. Try to play, forget productivity. Your desire to change this month depends on your ability to speed up. This is a big step for you, who either undervalues or overvalues what they have. Don't waste time. The general theme of your life during this period is to learn everything you can about the hidden aspects of the universe. And a lack of anxiety makes you more interesting to be around. And that's me.
And that's me.
That's my day.
Every time you read it, you should be like Raven. You know how in the intro of That's So Raven, she's like, yep, that's me. That's what I thought of when you said that.
We should have one of those buttons at the station for the soundboard.
Oh my god, you guys should do that. All right, so my light bulb says you can use any breach of normal practices to pause and think about different. Wait, the grammar in this is so bad. All right, you can use any breach of normal practices to pause and think about different ways to relate. I had to make it my own because it was like jacked up. All right. I have power in routine, pressure in thinking, creativity, spirituality, social life, and self, and then trouble in sex and love. You know, the usual. So the trick is to overcome your anxiety and it takes efforts to push the boundaries of your mind. But you're up for the challenge. Experiment with positivity. Try not to say anything petty for 24 hours. Dang. It came for me.
It really did.
You have to handle anxiety about your friendships when people are mad at you. You don't have to punish yourself for being critical, but you do have to be intentional about it. Be adaptable. If you cling hard and fast to any detail, it will without a doubt lead to a boring life. It's coming at me.
Okay. Well, okay.
The broader focus of your life during this time is to use your excess empathy to lend emotional support to others. It's uncomfortable to stray from the routine you've always known, but what's left to be explored is life. Don't miss it. Yeah. I know, like, period.
I like that.
That's what that was. I know, that was a good one today.
It was like a really like truthful thing, but it was also like, at least it's like not telling you you're boring. Like it's telling you you're spicy. And like you have so many things you could do in life.
Yeah. I mean, too bad we're all stuck in our house.
I already forgot what mine was. But let's see. What time is it? Oh, okay. Well, thank you guys for joining the Smitching Hour.
Yeah.
If you want more spookiness, you can tune in every Saturday via Facebook Live from 4 to 5.
Also, if you, whoa, again, what is with me today? Also, if you would like, you could check us out on our socials at WMSC Radio on Instagram and Facebook, and at WMSC on Twitter, and then 903 WMSC Radio on YouTube, since because of the times we're at, a lot of our content is now going there, and WMSC Radio 90.3 FM on SoundCloud. As for our personal accounts, you can follow me on all socials. It's MollyJean9897.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
You're so easy. Meanwhile, I have so many. My Instagram and Twitter is AlyssaGrace_X, I believe. YouTube and SoundCloud is just my name, so Alyssa Salvato. And Spotify is AlyssaGrace_X101. So that's where I put the Smitching Hour, but we also have the Smitching Hour on SoundCloud and iTunes and iTunes and Spotify. Some with the station's account, some with mine.
So, also, yeah, we are like revamping our Spotify account because we're digital marketing. So that's one of the things we're working on. So you guys should follow us. It's at WMSC Radio, I believe, the same as our Instagram. So yeah, you can give us a follow. We do have the self-isolation station playlist. Go check it out. There's a lot of cool and different music on there. And yeah.
Until then,
catch you on the flip side.
Wait, yesterday she wrote that for me to say, and I was like, I've never said on the flip side, and like I was looking forward to that because that's such like a Molly phrase, and I feel like I'm turning into her.
God.
But happy vinylthon, everyone.
Yes, happy vinylthon. We'll see you next week. If you have vinyl records, play them and celebrate from home. And we'll see
Tag us too.
Yeah, that too.